All right, welcome to another A to Z live with Rozilla and Oyanga Ali. Just two friends talking about subjects that are near and dear in our heart. And today we're going to talk about how we should respond. It's a question Ali threw out before we got on. So, how should we respond, man? What are we responding to?
Well, hey, this is the question. Uh, I'm thinking our situation right now is something similar to the 9/11 situation. And what I'm meaning is, do you remember how, have you been to New York? Right. I'm not talking about any conspiracy theories or anything like that, but have you been to New York? You see where the Twin Towers have fell, right? So when the Twin Towers fell, it was a tragic thing, very tragic. And we went to see the memorial, but Building 5 fell. And Building 5
Okay.
is so far away from from the Twin Towers, especially since the Twin Towers fell straight down and didn't go over to the side. And my question for them was, how come nobody really spoke up about that?
About
About
building
the
five being torn
yeah,
down?
about Building 5 being torn down and being so far away. Now, mind you, I wasn't there, and there's all kinds of emotions from what I seen when I did ask the people that I did come around, and they was some people was a little irritated. Some people was like, I wasn't even around during that time, because they was too young. They just knew that whatever. So I asked them, so what was they showing on the news? And they was like, they only showed death. They only kept through the news. They only talked about death and all the people that died, how tragic that situation was. They never talked about the distance of Building 5. New Yorkers didn't talk about the distance from Building 5. So my question that is really perplexing me, we already knew about the Epstein files. Those same people that were on the Epstein files that they brought up are the same people that they showed a long time ago when Epstein first before Epstein went to prison, right? We already knew about Ellen DeGeneres. We already knew about Puff Daddy. We already knew about all these other people, right? We knew about the Prince. We knew about the the people in that industry, in the entertainment industry, the people in politics. We already knew about it. We did nothing about it. Now they bring out the Epstein files. The same exact thing is happening, except for now they are verifying that these people have eaten people. They are verifying that these people have molested children, stole children, um, that they have tortured children, right? They have
Okay.
verified it. They verified it. If no, now mind you, this is the question. If nobody goes to jail, if
Right.
nobody goes to jail, what is the mindset, not just of the people in America, but what is the mindset of the people of this world? Because there's people from other countries that are involved in this, high
Yeah.
class fashion designers are involved in this. How are we not necessarily going to respond? Because there's going to be some riots, there's going to be some boycotts, there's going to be some whatever. But I really feel they're going to do a thing like President Obama did with the banks. There's too many big rich people in order, I mean, to punish them. And if they don't punish them, what does that say to everybody else? What does that say to everybody else? Is it going to be like what they did here with the marijuana? It's all these people went to jail for selling marijuana. All these people went to prison and got, like, all those cases got snatched away from their family for smoking, not for smoking marijuana. But now you got companies out here that are selling it for recreation. Is that going to be the same issue that big rich people, oh, now we can go ahead and rape all the children we want. You know, what
I get what you're
is
saying.
our
So
mindset
are you
going to
saying
be?
like if they don't get arrested or anything, are we setting a precedent for this behavior to continue in our society? Is that what you're kind of asking? Like,
I'm asking from any angle you want to take it, because it does not make
okay,
sense to me right now. How? Because if right now somebody wrote a paper and said Billy down the street was molesting children, that motherfucker be straight in prison, jail. They would come down, put him in jail until they can find out the truth, right? They wouldn't just sit there and try and find out the truth before. They would grab him, put him in jail until they can find out the truth of that situation, right? And then if you say, well, hold on, let me go ahead and let me post bail so I can get out. Okay, no, you got too much money. You can't post bail. You're going to have to stay in until we get this shit settled, right? They're not doing that for anybody right now. And if they do that, if they do start putting people in jail for those situations, right? Is it going to be real? Is it going to be an AI person that is in jail? Is it going to be a whole AI donkey court, you know, or whatever they call that?
kangaroo court.
Whatever. Kangaroo court. Is it going to be that? Is it?
Man, I think we've always kind of known in our society here in America that there is a governed and the people who govern, and in some sense there's like a different set of rules, you know, for certain people in this society, and it's based on privilege and based on money. I was listening to a comedian the other day, and he was just kind of making light of the fact that you know, the courtroom and some of the things that are said in there is set up like a game. And if you have enough money, you can, you know, hire the lawyers and things like that. If you don't, you just do the time. And that is not anything new, but we're seeing how much is coming to the forefront and being put right into our faces, that certain people just are above the rules. And I get what you're saying now about, you know, what kind of precedent is it going to set? What are people going to say? And then the reality is, what are you really going to do as an average citizen about it? Like, what can you really do if they don't arrest these people, right?
I know what we're doing. I know what my group is doing. You know,
What's that?
And my Alhambra group building a community that has the ability to be self-sustainable, and having a culture inside of that community that does not permit the things that the government uses to destroy the community: alcohol, drugs. You know, of course, people can sneak drugs into a community, right? That has happened with the crack epidemic, because nobody in the hood makes crack. I mean, cocaine. You know what I mean? Nobody does that. So, and anyway, we have a thing for that. But then, does this give you an idea of kings and queens? The king only makes laws that govern his people. The king is not under the same law. Now, mind you, I'm not saying that Donald Trump or these other people are kings. Now, there are princes. We know that's on the list. But the dukes, the knights, those people are on a different level of law. Yeah. We are starting to notice. I hope we're getting in our heads that we are serfs. In that analogy, we are serfs, and serfs are freaking slaves and servants, people who they don't give a damn about, who they will kill and experiment on and torture. That's the level of care that we are. on for the people who are higher up. And the people that we are seeing right now that are on these files, these are the children, the babies. I'm talking about as far as levels. These are low-level motherfuckers that are on this. These are the ones that should be killed, in my opinion, because of what they're doing to children. You know? And if now, and I'm all about love. I'm all about second chances. But there's some things that are going on right now, because if they are letting us know this, if they're letting us know this, what else is actually going on? I'm pretty much done with the levels of lying that they're doing. I wish, have you seen those videos where they showed when we was growing up, who's this?
Thinking of smoke and mirrors. It's always smoke and mirrors, but it's like we live in a paradoxical world. Stars comment. Thanks for commenting. It's always smoke and mirrors, but at the same time, it's also reality. So it's two-sided in that way. That is used as a distraction, but at the same time, things are really going on that's detrimental. So we can't overlook it, but at the same time, it's how deep can you go into it before you're distracted and thrown off your own game, like what Ali said his community is doing, which is building a community that serves the people. So you still have to be focused on that, realize that it is smoke and mirrors in terms of distraction, but at the same time, it's real things really going on that need to be addressed at our level, so that we can help each other out, because we have to address it at our level, because as you see, there's so much deception going on at such a level that we don't really have control or influence over. We can run out in the streets and march and protest and all that, but at the end of the day, that doesn't really do a whole lot in terms of changing the way the system is going to be run. So we definitely have to keep that in mind. So you were going to make a point, Ali.
Yeah, I'm saying, okay, so when we was growing up, when they was talking about nuclear bombs, right? When they was talking about the nuclear bombs, they were showing the videos of nuclear bomb testing, right? Mm-hmm. Nuclear bomb testing, where the building, like this is like whatever the area that is, and they had the building, and the bomb will go off in the building like whoosh, and like fake streets and stuff and all of that, right? Back when we were younger, that looked so real and scary. Like, oh my God, if that bomb goes off, we're all dead, right? We're all going to die. But during that same time, yellow journalism was around. And yellow journalism.
Break it down what you mean by yellow journalism.
Yellow journalism is a tool that the government uses and media uses that is allowed to lie to the public or embellish or exaggerate to the public to get whatever gain, whatever satisfaction, whatever purpose they want out of the people. So when I think about that, they put that movie out, but they put that out. And when we look at it right now, back then it looked real. It looks so real. Now it looks fake as fuck, right? It looks so fake. Now that we are years past it, and they got what they wanted from that emotion and the visual. They got what they wanted from it. Then the moon landing, right? Back then, that looked so real. But now it looks super fake. And of course, they've gotten better and better and better. Their technology has gotten better so that they can show different things, right? And I'm not going to say 9/11 because there's a lot of people that died in there, but we already know about false flags. We already understand what false flags is. People will die during a false flag. Can die, may die during a false flag, just so that they can re-get regain control over a populace, right? But everything looks so fake. Now they have AI. They have AI, and they got AI to the point to where the people actually look real. You know, they're putting fake people in. You can take a picture of yourself and put yourself, and of course, they got better technology out there than what I have. But I could put myself in a video of something and make it look like that's really happening, right? And I'm an amateur. I'm not even an amateur. I'm lower than amateur at that. You know what I mean? I don't have any of those skills. But now they have that ability. What if this whole situation, the whole situation is fake?
I mean, I
And you're right.
I used to
Media
live.
is full of tricks.
Tupac told us that the media is full of tricks. That's what I thought of when he said he loved the story of the media feeds us. I used to listen to this guy, Michael Savage. He's a very conservative talk radio show host. You ever heard of him? I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but
I heard of Michael Savage.
Michael Savage. He has a show called The Savage Nation, and I used to listen to talk radio like endlessly. But anyway, he had this phrase that he would always use, and he called it the government media complex, which basically was a way to show that they're two arms of the same thing and they work together. And the government media complex is basically just a way to steer people in a way that you should go. And to your point, like, what if it's all fake? And if you think about how you got to herd people and get them to go into a certain direction, you're going to use a lot of fear tactics to scare them. And the media and the government, or those who, I would say not even the government, those who orchestrate and fund the government.
Yeah.
And because those who do that, they fund multiple governments across the world to steer geopolitical outcomes across the globe. So it's more than just our media when it comes to something like that, because they're steering and putting out propaganda about this country and that country. And it's so weird, you know, I don't know, you know, I'm in my late 40s, you're in your late 40s. If you just go back,
in my 50s, boy.
You 50, bro?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right, well, you're looking all right there for 50, bro. I give you that.
Oh, thank you.
You know, they would if you go back and you just think how many movies over the years you've seen where we have two countries that have been the enemy, Russia and China, going back to like Ivan Drago, right? Like mid 80s, these same players play out. I don't know how many countries there are in the world, but there's a lot more countries in the world than Russia and China. But that's what we get fed the most as far as geopolitical things that are going on that may be detrimental to the U.S. And that is not by just random, like, because it's embedded in so many movies over and over and over again in order to feed this narrative. So to your point, a lot of it is orchestrated. It's hard to really say how much and what is, but we will say this. If you were someone who was running the world, would you really want to nuke a large part of the land and areas that you want to inhabit or control and damage it for, what do they say, nuclear fallout that could last 150 years? You know, it's a long time where that place that you do that to is going to be uninhabitable. So would you really want to do that? Probably not. But could you use that to like steer some people to go one way or another? Yeah.
100%.
That seems more likely to me. That seems more likely to me.
That was the thing that I was talking about at the very beginning. And I said, not just us, not just United States mindset, but what's the world's mindset? Because we know that from our travels, especially when I was in the Marine Corps and I would go to any other country, damn near any other country, they would be like, oh, especially Asia. When I'm there, they'd be like, oh, you gangster. You know, you Ice Cube. I'm like, no, I'm not asking am I Ice Cube, but just because I'm black and they think that I am a drug dealer or I'm a violent person or whatever, you know. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm the Cosby Show. That's who I am. I'm Theo Huxtable. You know what I'm saying? I'm Theo Huxtable, but I still whipped some ass at that time. But it was still like I'm not that image that America is portraying to everybody about us. But mind you, that's just on a small scale, because that's just one person. That's just one people. How they view all of America. Just how we view France as a bunch of arrogant people. You see what I mean?
Sure.
So it's like, how are they going to see our response to our president molesting children, possibly killing children, possibly torturing children, because he's already been accused of, or he wasn't convicted, or was he convicted of rape? But New York said, okay, it's not rape. He just,
something crazy like that.
Yeah. However that go, like, how are they going to think about Americans, especially if we don't do nothing? That'll give a whole thing. Now, have you seen the narrative that they're pushing out now about us, about America, about freaking? Now, maybe they may have already thought this, but at least it's given me. I don't know if everybody else's algorithm is on this, how the Statue of Liberty is Lucifer. Have you seen that? The comparison that they're making? The Statue of Liberty is the light bearer. The actual statues that they have of Lucifer has a chain around.
A depiction of the goddess of Columbia, but sure.
Yeah, but they're changing it. They're changing it. So now they got they showed a picture of Lucifer. That's the actual statue that they made of him. He got the wings and everything, and he has a chain around his foot. Statue of Liberty has a chain around her foot. That same statue of Lucifer has a 7-point crown. Statue of Liberty has a 7-point crown. So it's like they're trying to make that connection. If they're trying to make that connection, what about the later on? Are they trying to make that connection to say, okay, it's okay to destroy America? The West, America is the big evil. That's where Satan actually is. What are they trying to portray? Or is that message just being sent to Americans? And I don't know if anybody else has heard it. That's on my algorithm.
I think you just have to, if you just look at it from a common sense standpoint, if we're being propagandized to see certain countries as a potential threat, you can bet that other countries are being propagandized to see America as a certain type of threat. And that's just the act of war, right? Because the actual war is going on in the minds of, it starts in the minds of the people. So you have to plant those seeds. So I think it goes without saying that America would be depicted as something satanic or evil in other countries' eyes. And in our sense, we will get told that America is great, because why would you send your children to fight and die for a country that you deem as evil, right? You have to paint the country in which you live in so that the masses and citizenry has some allegiance to that.
That's in the past, though. That's in the past. Now we are evil because our leaders, our athletes, our entertainers, all of our politicians, are all involved in killing children. And
it's not like this is new, right? All of this stuff has been going on for centuries and decades. So it's not like all of a sudden
it's new to the new generation.
Well, what I'm gonna say is like it's not like all of a sudden the people who are in power or in those positions of high places are now becoming evil. It's just being put out in the forefront.
Right. That's
Yeah. So
that's
it's
that's,
just
that's the point.
yeah, it's just being put out in the forefront, and and it's been written for it to be in at this time, because that's the and if you think about it from an esoteric level, right, you have to wake people up. In order to get people to wake up to um, usher in something new, you have to put the truth out so that it can, kind of wake people out of sleep. Because the reality is, Americans have been asleep in the fact that here's an example of what I mean.
Okay.
As
I'm
children,
listening.
we always talking about, America's the greatest country. We go out and we do this. America is spreading democracy to all these different countries, right? But
Right.
now with more uh, research, we know that this spreading of democracy was actually colonization of other countries. So it's just like, but now with that truth being coming out, that's what wakes the masses up, and that's what you
But
see
for what
happening.
for what purpose though? That's
Because, quite frankly, it's because it's time for the new world order. It's time for the new world order, and all that means is the order in which who's seen as number one in the world is going to change. And it's a new order of what is going to be first and what's going to be last. I think the book of Revelation says something like the first should be last and the last should be first. It's a new world order, a new order of in terms of who's in power, who's going to be the dominant force economically, militarily, educationally on the world stage. And that's what we see happening. And in order for that to happen, you have to get rid of the old systems. And the only way you're going to get people to abandon the old systems is to wake them the hell up. So that's what's happening. This is all waking people up to unravel the old system. Because everyone's been in.
Okay. You're I'm just asking real quick. I'm just asking real quick.
Dominic
I
says
know
that
other people haven't
the
been.
NWO OWN LOL. That's funny. Go ahead, Ali.
No, it's you're talking about the systems, and I remember before in quite a few of our other podcasts, part of the systems change were with our currency and Bitcoin and digital currency. And is your thinking of what you're saying, is that heavily involved?
Absolutely, it is.
Okay.
Because like when we talk about the financial system, right? It's a global system. That means you got to get the globe on board with the whole system at the same time, damn near, right? So you have to unravel the old system globally at the same time. So this is why you see global upheaval and changing of the guard all across the country. You got China doing the Belt and Road Project. You got where they're going to be issuing this type of cryptocurrency technology to other countries so they can get off the dollar. Countries have been because the dollar was I think we've talked about this before, the world reserve currency. So if there's going to be a changing of the guard, the world reserve currency has to change. They reported Tuesday the U.S. currency was valued at 9 cents. Yeah, so he's talking about, the currency is being devalued, and this is what inflation does. And when it's devalued, then you can bring in new currency. I mean, we see that getting rid of pennies, getting rid of coins. We barely even use real money anymore. So it's changing of the system. And it's like every government system has an expiration date. And if you it's as simple as looking back at old coins from Roman times, or old coins from Egyptian times, or old coins, like these currencies die out at some point, along with the governmental systems that use that money. So this is all part of breaking down the governmental system in which we were governed under here in America. And in order to get the people off of that system, you do things to wake them up. Like, hey, look at what your politicians have been doing, so that they no longer have allegiance to that.
Do you think, and this is for everybody in here, do you think this situation that we're going through right now could it be confined to just to show that America is just as evil as like what we thought about Saddam Hussein? He's killing all his people. That was the evil thing. He's killing all his people, whether it was true or not, whether it was true as far as the methodology of what he was doing with the Ba'ath Party, you know, and the Sunni and Shiites and Kurds. He was killing all the people. Or when they was talking about how Muammar Gaddafi had killed 20,000 people, but it was actually 20 years ago that he was doing that to free Libya from the Western, ideology,
Yeah.
Or do you think it's just that type of pocketed thing, or do you think it's a worldwide thing to bring in the Antichrist?
Well,
because this is super evil. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Antichrist. Let me address the Antichrist first. The Antichrist is simply a spirit or an energy that's opposing to Christ's energy, right?
Right.
Christ's energy is, a loving energy. It's about bringing together. It's about grace, peace, all those positive emotions. And the opposite of that would be something that's against that, which would be war, pillaging, division, etc. So yes, it is an antichrist energy that's around, that always is trying to seek to destroy the Christ-like energy, which is love. The opposite of war is love and unity and bringing things together. So yes, that is true. And in order for the true Christ energy to come on, you have to make things look so warlike or divided so that it wakes up those who have that energy within them, because that is what would ultimately overcome that.
Well, I was thinking more so in the way that the Antichrist comes and becomes the savior first. So like we're at right now, because if we're supposed to be the heads of the world, according to the way America thinks, right? We're supposed to be heads of the world, and our head of the world is looking like Satan worshipers or whatever. The Antichrist is supposed to come and get everybody together, new world order, right? One world order, however you want to call it. It's supposed to get everybody together and then rule, but still be looked at as the Christ, right? That's what the Antichrist is supposed to do. We are looking bad right now. I don't know if it's like, even though there's other people in other countries that have participated in and can be connected to the Epstein files, you know what I mean? Other people. So it looks like the whole world could be considered bad, which would allow the Antichrist to step in and say, okay, we're going to fix this, because there's no way one person or America can fix it, because we can't even touch. Now, mind you, I'm got to keep this clear real quick. We can't even touch our politicians. Where our politicians live, if somebody was really trying to hurt them, that felt, they live in a safe zone. The princes in other countries live in safe zones. The what are those people? Our entertainers, they live in safe zones, because if somebody really wanted to come hurt them, those rich people ain't going to lose their money to go defend these little children. You know what I mean? In a way that they deserve, or in a way that would make change. In a way that would make change happen. Yeah. Nobody is going to be able to go into those communities and make that change happen, because the government is actually the ones who are doing it. So we're not going to have police going to go get them. You're not really going to have, you see what I mean?
Yeah. So, you said a lot of good points. I think like when you say like, is it going to be one savior, right? It was going to be one savior. I mean, I'm sorry. This Antichrist will come in and look like the savior.
Yeah.
And of course, this is where the trick comes in, right? Because you know how they say when something can be, it looks good on one sense to get welfare. Let's just say, use this as an example. To be getting welfare, it seems like a great thing. But what being on that for too long robs you of is your own independence, because now you're on the government tip, right? So when you think of this Antichrist energy, yes, it's gonna come in and look like the savior, and what that looks like is now we got universal basic income, which kills the drive to be independent. Now we got even further dependency on the system, and this is what that Antichrist energy will bring. The opposite of that is the Christ-like energy, which is sovereign, free, taking care of yourself. And this is what we have as far as how I think it is going to play out on the physical plane. We're going to have people who become more and more dependent, which seems like, oh, wow, we've been saved by the government. But really, that is the last straw that breaks the back of the human independent spirit. Once you become fully on that type of system, and that is what the system seeks to do, and it's going to appear like it's saving everyone, but too much of that over the long haul, you can kill the independent spirit. So I think that's how it's going to play out, man. That's why at this time it's really important for those who do have the eyes to see, is to start to form more and more communities, become more and more independent, which is the true Christ-like, free, sovereign energy that is needed in order to combat the total destruction of the human soul and things like that. But and that's why it also says in the scriptures that if it was so, only even the very elect will be fooled. So many people will be fooled by that system because it is the beast system. It's the system in which the world runs on, and that's just how it's going to be. And all we can do is continue to plant the seeds like we're doing today by talking about what it means to be that Christ-like, continue to be loving, continue to be compassionate, continuing to be see me as your brother instead of distant stranger, be able to look beyond the labels, because these labels
just having love.
Well, having love, having discernment as well, because we can't pretend that everybody's out here for your good, because it's just not. That'd be dumb and silly to think so. But it's the energy in which you go about it that can combat it. You know what I mean? Just being able to look past the labels, and that's why these labels are so tricky, right? And why we see them all over the place, because it's the first tool of division, and we get that tool so early on that we almost don't even really see how using it in and of itself can create division. Not that all division is bad, but it can create some division in the minds and not let you see your brother as your brother.
Hey, and just so I can, okay, never mind. You answered it just then, right at the end. Okay, yeah, you're.
I was at work the other day, bro. I was at work the other day, and I had two guys. They were getting ready to give a talk to some students about bias, about being biased, and then they were gonna end like it was gonna end up being about race, and they were just kind of asking me, what are you thinking, man? We feel a little bit uncomfortable going in there. And, and they said, well, why is it always about black and white? Why does everything got to be about the black people and the white people? And that is very strategic, to use those specific colors as a means to plant division here, because you don't run around saying there's yellow people, or you don't run around saying there's other colors, because if you look at, I'm not even truly black, neither are you, and the white people aren't truly white, but that language of black and white denotes polar opposites. So if you can keep people in this consciousness based on these polar opposites, then you can keep the race game going. But if we define people as who they really are, or who they define who they really are, you can't keep that narrative going. So, and even the colors black and white, has been used throughout history to denote the different poles. You see it like different like signs like the yin and yang sign. You'll see the black and the white version, or either the red and blue, as depicting either a positive or a negative pole. And they use this type of deep rooted esoteric things to control the minds of the people. And I'll leave it at this. This last thing I'll say is, they say that the most dangerous thing in the hands of the controllers is the minds of the people they're controlling. And when they have the minds, then anything can go. Black or white is better for magic, like unknown, yes. And that's the magic that's being pulled on us, right? Psych and life and death. And it's very strategic that those colors are used to consistently keep this thing going on with division.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
Right. And no, I'm just going to add the color brown. That's how they added the Mexicans and the Dominicans, the Latinos. They added just so that they can feel involved in the struggle, and even some of the Asians, so that they can feel involved in the struggle with like, why are you trying to do this to our brown people? Trying to link all of us together, which is okay, because again, like what was said earlier, even in the chat, we're one race. We're one race. We're all humans. And that's the thing that is so wild, that people don't understand that. And then they try to change it by saying, no, we're not all humans. There's reptilians out here. There's people with the reptilian mind. And then you got the snake people, and and then they do more separation with talking about the demons that are here walking the earth with us, and the Anunnaki and all. I mean, like, they're still separating us, and then putting people who are not connected to themselves in a place trying to figure out who the fuck they are. You know what I mean? It's like, am I a reptilian and don't know?
And Dominic said something great. Is it about flesh and blood? Because is it even about flesh and blood? Because we all, one of the things that they prey upon too is that we all seek to be in a tribe of some sort. We all seek to have a feeling of belonging to something. And if they can keep throwing out, oh, well, maybe you're black, maybe you're white, maybe you're red, maybe you're orange, maybe you're a reptilian, maybe you're not, because we're always seeking for something like that. And this is why one of the major ways that we've been miseducated is on how this reality really works. It's the things that are beyond the visible that control this. And and if you look at the human itself, like, what we really are is spirits. What we really are is light beings. We're not even this body. This is something that we operate through. But they try to get us to only look at the body, which is just a vehicle, more like a car, that we operate through. So we're not even really the bodies. We're inhabiting it. The body is part of who we are. It's a manifestation of the energy that we have going through us. And you asked a while ago, like, why do we keep going on? And why do we keep going on with these fights? And it's because we allow. This was like several months ago. You asked, like, why does this fight keep going on? But basically, it's because we allow, or we have been told what to fight about from a state that keeps it going, and we're not educated on how it really works here, what really keeps things going. And if we only continue to look at the physical, we're going to always be in these wars, because you can always see things are visibly divided in this world. But what really connects is beyond that. That's how we're really connected. It's beyond what you can see. And when we never have these conversations about that, then if people can't basically get past that, then it's going to be very challenging to get people on the same page, because we're beyond that, really.
Yeah, and it's like just having so many different ways to attack us. When we start moving in love and start actually caring about each other, we don't need the government. The government is really only there to control and take over and destroy, right? That's what it seems like to me. Yeah, there's some good things about the government. I mean, mind you, I worked in the government. You have as well. So there's a lot of beautiful, good
Of course.
ideas, that the government is. So I'm not talking about going out throwing rocks at anybody or no shit like that. I don't believe in that. Especially not right now. Maybe if we get to what's that, martial law or some shit like that, and that wouldn't even be a smart thing to do either. Not during that time. But I could verbally support people who decide that martial law is not the thing for their town. But if we start moving in love, if we move in love and get rid of these made up traumas and that we put ourselves in, that we allow ourselves to get in, and get off of social media. I was thinking about that yesterday because we know a lot of it's a lie now. I mean, like I was saying earlier, if you look back in the past, look at those videos that were a lie. They look fake now, but they didn't look fake then. And I was going to talk about the space shuttle. We believe that the space shuttle goes up into space, even though we see it go like this every single freaking time out of our view, even though we have telescopes from where it goes to watch it go out of space. But they put that idea in our heads that it has to cut through this radiation belt. Well, I forgot what it's called, but it has to cut through
Van Allen radiation belt.
Yeah, it has to cut through that, but it's already out of our vision to see with the telescope. You know what I mean? So it's something else that we could believe in or not believe in. But if we get off of the stuff that's not real, the stuff that's not real.
Well, it makes you question then what is real?
No, the things that are real is what's right in front of us. Not even us for some things. Not even us right now. And I appreciate y'all too that are still listening to us. But like going out into the world, actually having that tactile contact, not being afraid to have a conversation with somebody who I don't know. Hey, dude, your shoes untied. Hey, you got a booger in your nose. Being out of love. Hey, being able to go talk to real people instead of sitting next to your girlfriend or boyfriend or homie and texting them memes on your fucking phone, and you're right next to them, or sitting there like, hey man, look what I seen. Hey, there, check me out. Look at my video. We're right here. Let's have a conversation. Let's dig into each other's minds to see what we are thinking, and not what somebody else is telling us to think. Or I don't know, man. I really feel I just feel that we need more of each other than we need of social media. It's cool to have a friend that's in China, or a friend that's in Georgia, or a friend that's in South Carolina somewhere that we can communicate back and forth with, right? But for me to be communicating back and forth with this person through other people's ideas, memes, videos, watching people in their wretchedness, going on the dark web, watching people kill people, creating that energy, watching porn, watching stuff that is connected to pedophilia, transgenderism, stuff like that, because that's all on. I mean, now mind you, if you're a transgender, be a transgender. Do what you want to do. I don't care. But be watching stuff like that, letting that stuff incorporate into a person's mind that does not even live that life. It's in some of the stuff that we're watching, but I have more compassion for the people that are right in front of me. I can do more. I could live a better life that way. I can create more instead of look at everybody else's creation. That's just what I'm saying. I know I went off on a tangent. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what you're saying, we just need more human connection at the end of all of that, you know.
Yeah, 100%. 100% what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah, man, gives it all away for sure, man. Controlling the mind. You know, how can I say it? Like, so the whole thing of it is, bro, is controlling the mind, like Dominic said here. And you know, we're all naturally connected through a mind. If you look at the Kabbalion, I think the first rule of the Kabbalion, which is the seven Hermetic principles and all that, is talk about all is mind. Everything is connected through mind, and which is something outside the body that we're all connected to, which is the state that you know you get to when you know all things, like through meditation, and people are able to channel. We're all connected through that same space if we can get to it. So this whole internet and all that has been a very, well, even the medicine, right? Even the medicine and getting into understand how the mind works and how all that works was slowly to reverse engineer what was already the natural state of our beings, which is that we're all connected, to disconnect us from that, to reconnect us to a more artificial version, which is online.
Yeah.
And it's been a slow, steady process of doing that. You know, and I think like you know, it's not all bad.
No, it's not
all bad.
It does sever connection though.
Yeah, it does sever connection, and that's the whole point. We just have to remember, hey, we're all really connected in this physical. It's gonna take some old heads like us, man, just kind of pioneering and continuing to give that message to ourselves, to the young ones that coming behind us. To always never forget to stay connected in the physical.
Yeah, I really do believe that the internet is a good thing if we use it as a library or an encyclopedia or as, you know, documentation from human to human. But as far as having it as entertainment, I don't agree with that, because if you go on I'm saying Tubi or Disney Channel, guess what they brought back? Commercials.
Yeah, everybody brought it back, huh?
You know what I mean? They brought back commercials.
Insane, dude.
So it's like that the idea has been corrupted of what the internet is actually supposed to be used for. The way they scooted the internet in was for school. It was for education. Now it's all entertainment, and entertainment is what Caesar used to control the people. Yep.
There you go. Yeah, entertainment. Yeah, man. Entertain the minds, get it all going one direction. Yeah, bro. I think I mean, you got anything you want to add before we get out of here? So we've been going about an hour. I think we dropped a lot of good stuff, man. Most are attached to the evil material parts. Appreciate you, Dominic, for being an active participant in the chat, dropping a lot of great talks. Is there anything he threw out there that you want to talk about before we get out of here? So true. Yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate you jumping out.
Oh, wait, no, there was a question.
We got.
It says, when words like God created something,
or created something
in its image.
I think when I think that came out when I was talking about the Kabbalion, when it said all is mind. Okay. And when you imagine, we've talked about it before, when you imagine something, this is how you can start to create from mind, which I think we all exist in the mind of the creator. I'll say it like that versus the mind of God. That could be a kind of loaded term for me, but in the image of the creator, and that's what we all go back to. It's much like when you're in your own dreams at night, and everything in there is made of you. You're all around it. You permeate it. You breathe into it. You know what's there, what's not there, and that's kind of like what this thing is. You know what I mean? Like one big dream. Our skin itself is an anagram for being in the skin is derma, which is also an anagram for dream. But yeah, go for it.
I think Dominic is trying to see if we're flat earthers.
Is the sun and moon material or images? Oh man.
Yeah,
man, I went down that rabbit hole so hard, bro, for about, I don't know, probably the better part of a year and a half, 2 years, watching all, the moon landing, watching scientific videos, debates from astronauts and debates from astrophysicists and pilots who were both flat earthers and globe earthers. So I went down that so hard for about a year and a half, and at the end of it, I just concluded, I don't know. They don't seem to know. I can't figure it out from where I'm living at what it is. All I can know is like just tapping into what's real. Like we said, what's real? I'm here, you're here, the people around us are here. The feelings that we have and share with each other is real. Maybe we'll find out if it's flat or round once we die, but that's just a class I'm not taking anymore.
Hey, yeah, I was gonna say, let's kick that horse next week.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, man, is anyone going high? I love you guys. Go ahead. What?
Yeah. Is anyone going high enough to confirm either way? Somebody has.
Right.
Somebody has, bro. I haven't. Yeah, I'm just gonna say
our windows are round in the airplane I've been in.
Yeah, I couldn't come to a definitive conclusion. Only thing I did conclude from it is that some of the things fit both models. I looked at the heliocentric model, the geocentric model, the flat earth model, the freaking Hebrew cosmology, all different type. Like I went down the whole hard, and I still, because people can back it up with scriptures, and then people can back it up with all the science and Neil deGrasse Tyson and what he says, and I'm just not equipped enough to know if it's real or not, if people made it up. I don't think I'm an idiot by any means, but I just don't have the tools to figure it out myself. I haven't seen it, so I can't really say.
What's that thing? And thank you for stepping on what Dave Chappelle said.
What's that?
He said something to the effect of, don't say that you know. Yeah. When it comes to a conspiracy, say you might believe it or something like that. Don't say it's fact. Don't say it's truth, because we don't really know. Mm-hmm. And that kind of ends the conversation and starts an argument for somebody else.
Exactly.
So here we go. But hey, do you want to keep pushing? Because I got like only a couple more minutes.
No, we could just go 1 minute. I did want to say this one thing, and then you can close us out, bro. Like with most topics, my wife and I, we talk about, and I'll say too, like the devil is in the details. And when you understand that word, the devil, or that is also very similar to the word division. And so the division is in the details. The further you go down these rabbit holes, you can always find an argument to bolster your claim here, or an argument to refute your claim over there. And it's going to always be that. And I remember working with this this guy who was a professor at USC, and he would tell me that he was hired by a lot of major corporations to give them data to support what they were looking for. And he could always find the data that they needed to support, no matter what it was.
Right.
So with that type of thinking, you could always come up with an argument the further you get into the details. But again, that's where the division is. And to be able to step outside of it and look at both sides and have a bird's eye view and say, hey, there's validity to both sides. Let's not dive so deep into this where we get divided, but let's find a common ground.
Yeah.
And so that's why I would like to leave things, finding the common ground with people and not creating so many arguments, because you can argue about anything all day.
There it is. So, hey, guys, I appreciate everybody being with us today. It's wonderful when you go out, share love with people, look at them. If you can, talk to them, shake their hands, get that connection going, and just remind people to love and care and be kind to one another.
Facts. We out,
Old
man.
school.
Yes, sir. We out.